All right. Hello, everybody. Ian, Starship Adventures. Today, a live drive. I'm in Venice and I'm heading to work in Fort Myers. It's about an hour and 20 minutes away. I'm going to get there just on time to get my work done before we go live with the evening show.
Take the next right onto
which
US
I produce
41
every day.
South Tamiami Trail.
Oh, great. We're starting out good here.
Continue on US 41 South for 4 miles.
Literally a red light right off the bat. So we'll sit through this whole thing.
There are police reported ahead.
Okay, and this is it. This is Jacaranda Boulevard and Tamiami Trail. This is pretty much right near the center of Venice here. Not an overly big town, but one of many coastal towns along the west coast of Florida that are about the same size. You've got Northport, Venice, Port Charlotte, Punta Gorda, and then of course you get up to Sarasota and Bradenton. There's a lot of little towns. These are the bigger ones. These are the moderate-sized towns. And then there's a bunch of little ones in between. In Florida, almost everything in this state is all bunched up along the coast. You can see what it looks like here. We've got 3 lanes into 3 lanes into 3 lanes into 3 lanes. This is a pretty big intersection. But if you go inland Florida, you won't find big highways much. It's very rural. So it's almost like if you're within so many miles of the coast, it's very populated. And then out another 10 or 20 miles from the coast, it's somewhat populated. And by the time you get to the inland counties, it's very rural. People want to live right by the coast or near the coast. And the truth is, unless you're going to live right on the coast, why would you take that risk? I don't understand. Generally, if that hurricane comes, you're going to lose everything. This coming Saturday, tomorrow at noon, I've got a live drive tomorrow at noon. I'm going to be taking you guys down to Fort Myers Beach. I'm going to start the live drive for Fort Myers, and I'm going to stay live all the way down to the beach, and we're going to be talking about Hurricane Ian and the 2 subsequent hurricanes that went by us after Ian. All 3 of them caused flooding down on the beach. We're going to talk about how high the water was, and I'm going to show you where everything used to be and kind of how it's being redeveloped now. The beach is being, it's all being bought up right now by large corporations. All the small little eclectic shops that were all along there, and area called Times Square and all that, that's all gone. All of it was removed from the earth by Ian, and now we're basically now just it's a mess. It's literally like starting completely over again. I don't know why people get over in this fast lane and then they just poke. It's like, dude, you're in the fast lane. It's a multi-lane highway. You have to be in the right unless you're passing. That's probably one of those confusing laws for people, and I don't really understand why exactly. It's pretty straightforward. If you're, there he goes. It just takes people a while to remember. Oh, that's right. If you are on a multi-lane highway, and I think in every state, if you're on a multi-lane highway and you are approached by faster moving traffic, it doesn't matter how fast you're going. Nowhere in the statute does it differentiate how fast you're going. All it says is if you're in the far left lane, you should get out of that lane unless you need it. Number 1. Number 2, if you're in that lane and there's no one in front of you, in other words, you're not trying to get around the guy in front of you. If you're approached by a vehicle from behind in that left lane and you're not actually waiting to get around someone yourself, then you are required to yield the lane. It's a fact. And the cops down here are starting to realize that this is why our interstates aren't working that well. It's because we'll put 6 or 8 or 10 lanes across an interstate. No matter how many lanes there is, the left lane is the passing lane. Excluding any HOV or pay lanes, your left lane, your left free travel lane is always the fast lane, or the hammer lane as the truckers call it. And you shouldn't be in that lane unless you're passing. Like right now, I'm passing and I'm going faster than the traffic on the right. So I'm allowed to be in this lane because I'm using it to pass slower traffic on the right. Now, when I approach this Cadillac, if there's no one in front of him, he has to yield to me, but he won't. Okay, there's cars not far in front of him, so we'll give him a pass on that. I'm not going to harass him because I'll get up behind and flash the lights because, you know, people got to learn the law. But hey, it is what it is, you know. It's a cooperation thing more than anything else. I don't necessarily care if anybody gets tickets for it. I just want people to realize that. It's just like it makes driving so much easier for everybody. And this is awesome. I had like 10 people in here, and now I'm back down to 1 again. A lot of people do these live drives, and people seem to like them, but when I do them, not so much. All right. Hey, Callie, how's it going? Wow. I don't know where everybody went. I just had almost 10 people in here, and it went back down to 1 just like that. Sometimes that happens when it drops or something, so I'm not sure exactly what's going on. But anyway, I'm on US 41. I'm heading southbound. I'm actually, I left the facility up here, and I'm heading down to my work now for my shift. I go in between 2 and 3 every day in order to get show prep done, and so that we're ready for the show. I'm going to be doing another live show where I broadcast the back end of the show. It's going to probably be, I'll probably do another one next week.
In a quarter mile at the traffic circle, take the second exit onto US 41 South.
It didn't get a lot of interest, but I'm going to do it again. And this time I'm working on ways to make the audio better. So hopefully I can get the audio to be better. All right, and here we go. This is something right here that is a scourge of humanity, and that is a roundabout. I hate roundabouts. Everybody gets inconvenienced by a roundabout. See, I was doing 50 miles an hour. I had to slow down to 16 miles an hour to go through the traffic circle.
Continue on US 41 South.
And now we're trying to catch back up and start going again. Traffic circles, the only thing, the reason that Europe likes traffic circles so much is because they're fair. They're fair for everybody. Because now, if I pull up and get a red light, that's not fair. So now everybody gets inconvenienced because that's fair. Whatever. I'd rather take my luck with lights, you know? If you sail through a green light, and you sail through a second green light, and then you get caught by a red light, and you get 2 or 3 more green lights, you'll do a lot better than if it was all traffic circles. Because every single traffic circle, you have to slow down to 15 miles an hour and then pick back up again. I also believe traffic circles are probably worse on gas as well, because instead of like this intersection here, these side roads aren't that big. West Villages Parkway, this is literally 2 communities, left and right. There's no highway, there's no byway here. This is simply a gated community on the left and a gated community on the right, but yet we've got this big, huge traffic light here. And but it's green on 41 here, probably 4 out of every 5 minutes. So it's green most of the time. Where if it was a traffic circle, we would have all had to pull in there and go really slow. Now, in this case, it might have been a little faster, but probably not. Hey, Coco, what's up?
In a quarter mile at the traffic circle, take the second exit onto US 41 South, South Tamiami.
God damn it, another traffic circle. I hate these things. I usually get in the right lane just because it's less complicated. I hate these things. People hate these things. People don't know how to navigate them. This one doesn't even have the sperm and the egg signs, so you don't even really know what lanes go where. Look at this. It's a complicated mess.
Exit the traffic circle onto US 41 South. Continue for 37 miles.
All right, that should be the last one of those stupid things. There's a lot of things they're doing now that are supposed to make our drive better, and they just don't. Traffic circles are a great example. Another example is the crisscross intersection. They're starting to put these everywhere, and they do not help traffic at all. They put one down at Colonial and I-75, and now you will wait 2 light changes every single time you go through that intersection. It's terrible. They really did not do us any justice there by putting in that crisscross intersection. They make all east and westbound traffic cross itself twice. It's absolutely ignorant. I don't know how somebody one day said, hey, I got an idea. Let's take all the eastbound people and make them cross over to the westbound side. And then when they get through the intersection, they can cross back. And you would say, well, why would they do something like that? It seems so stupid. Well, they do it because if you do this, then the entering and exiting traffic from the interstate, it's all right turns, basically. So, in other words, when you come off the interstate, depending on where you come off, all you'll have to do is make a right turn, because that's the traffic will be going the right way, so that you don't have to cross over and make a left turn. Sounds good in theory, but here's the problem. They put traffic signals on all the off-ramps. So in other words, yeah, you can come off now and make a right turn, but you still have to come off and sit there for the traffic light. It's absolutely ignorant. It's like they literally took the goodness that you could get from this and negated it by putting in more traffic signals and more control. It was not necessary. People should come off, go down, make the right turn. But now they got to get off, come down, and wait on a light. Which means that now all the people waiting in the crisscross are now waiting for at least 1, if not 2, full traffic lights. It's just really stupid. Hey, Victor, what's up? Who else we got? Graves in here. Hey, what's up, man? Yes, we've got... I'm doing okay today. I'm very tired, still not feeling well. I don't know when I'll ever get my health back. I think with my current schedule, I may never get my health back. Harbor Cove. That's a mobile home community. It's waterfront. You know what they call a mobile home park that's waterfront after a storm? They call it an empty lot. All right, and yeah, they're over there to the left. You can see there's a hotel over there to the left. That old hotel, that's Warm Mineral Springs. I pointed that out to you guys before. That is an old hotel from, I don't know, probably the 50s. And it's still the original hotel there. And I always thought it was kind of a neat place. It's got like a courtyard and everything. We drove around it. We had talked about staying there at one point, but we never actually did. But right down the road here is Warm Mineral Springs, which is a natural spring where there's a really mineral-rich water comes up out of the ground. Another little piece of Americana that's gone to the wayside. I think the county finally bought the Mineral Springs and they're running it. And that little hotel's closed down and opened back up at least once. And I also had a fire in there a few years ago. One of the rooms burned up. So it's been a little bit rough for that back there. Not a lot of people. I'll tell you, everything's changed, on what people like to do. This small little teeny theme parks, micro parks, and the small little roadside things like south of the border, for instance, and the Shell Factory in North Fort Myers and places like this where they used to be a roadside piece of Americana. I mean, you would visit and there would be whatever it is they do in there. We used to have a lot of this kind of stuff, and we still do, believe it or not. You got places like Buc-ee's, where, yeah, it's not like these other places, but it is becoming a thing, where here you stop at Buc-ee's, you get your gas, you rest, you can go buy whatever you need to buy, you can do whatever you need to do. I mean, it makes sense. And these places, in the old days, there was like Stuckey's was another one. They were roadside Americana. Literally, you would stop. You would be driving down the highway back then on a highway, not an interstate, but a highway, and you would see over to the left or right. You would see, hey, what's that? And there's big blinking lights and big flags and signs, and you would pull over, and you and your family would go in and experience it for the day. And those kind of things are going away. They're just not there anymore. Your theme parks have gotten much bigger, and your roadside places have gotten a little bit smaller, and now they take more of the form of a Buc-ee's. It kind of sucks. I really liked some of these places. When we were traveling, it was really neat to stop at south of the border and go in a couple of the big junk shops, or like I said, the Shell Factory or Stuckey's. There's a bunch of others, I just can't come up with the names. And, you would think, hey, this would be really cool to, to be able to do that. But anyway, so let's hit that button. Hey, everybody, it's Ian, and this is Starship Adventures, at least our mobile unit. And I am out traveling between Venice and Fort Myers. And it's funny because this camera sees blinking headlights. My headlights are not blinking. They're steady. I don't know what the deal is with that, but sometimes this thing, when the camera sees headlights during the day, they look like they're blinking. Something to do with the syncing, I guess, or something, or the hertz. I'm not sure, but anyway. No blinky lights. All right, so here we are. We are in Northport right now. And then here we'll be in Port Charlotte, Port Charlotte before too long here. Let's see if there's anything in the chat. All right, yeah, it is. It's a beautiful day today. We will have some storms this afternoon. You can see them building up there. The clouds are starting to get some gray bottoms on them. That's usually the first sign. And yeah, we're going to end up with probably a few storms this afternoon, but not everybody will get hit. And yeah, that's kind of the way it works. Our rainy season here starts sometime in June. It can be June 1st or June 30th, but sometime in the middle of June or sometime in June, the clouds open up and it starts to rain, and it rains and rains and rains every afternoon for quite a while. It rains probably 2 out of 3 afternoons all through the summer, and in October. But this year we've already had a dry front come through. We've already had one morning below 70, which for down here is pretty rare in September. That's more of a late October phenomenon. So we're seeing it. I know I've got family up in the mountains, and they've already had nights in the low 40s up there, and they've already had highs below 70. So they're having a much cooler than normal. And she told me a couple days ago that the leaves are starting to change, which for Blairsville, Georgia, is, that's early. That's very, very early. Normally, the third week in October is the best week to see leaves changing. So, yeah, there you go. An early winter. Don't tell the global warming people. It makes them grumpy. Yep. So, what else is going on today? Ooh. There you go. Yep. I remember baseball. I think they still play it somewhere. Truthfully, baseball is, I got to tell you guys, baseball, I personally don't watch it. I don't watch much of any sports, not much on it. But I'll tell you guys something that's very interesting about baseball. Down here, a lot of people don't like baseball down here, and I'll tell you why. What's happened is the government down here is constantly appeasing these big ball teams. And the ball team, the Red Sox, come in and they're like, hey, we want to do our spring training. Well, all these towns bend over backwards because they want the prestige of being the place that they get it, they come and train in the winter, whatever. Okay, so what do we have to do to get the team? Well, we have to build them a stadium. And so they built them a mini Fenway in downtown Fort Myers. They built a mini Fenway stadium. It's like a miniature one of that one up there. It's like a 2/3 scale or whatever. And they built this stadium, paid for this stadium. The guys moved into it, and they were real pricks about it. They didn't want no one else using it because it was theirs. And it was they were jerks about the whole thing. And then what ends up happening? They tell the county, hey, if you don't build us another new stadium, we're going to go to Sarasota. That's literally what they said. And they're in negotiations with Sarasota. So our county, after only 15 years, turn around and build them another whole stadium. Another whole stadium. Which, the old one, it's sitting in ruin downtown with fencing all the way around it. It's like a Life After People movie down there. And it's like, that one is a complete waste. And why is it a complete waste? Well, it's a complete waste because we had to build them a new stadium. And now that old one's not worth a shit. Nobody wants to do anything in the old one. So it just sits there. It just sits there. That's it. And now they're talking about ripping it down. They spent $16 million maintaining this thing since the Red Sox left. And now they're just going to tear it down, which is going to cost another, $2 million or something to tear it down. It ended up costing our city and our county so much money. It's absolutely ridiculous. And literally half the people down here want nothing to do with baseball ever again. And people like me that are for small government, I don't want my government involved in baseball. I understand that if left to its own devices, baseball would fail in 1 year. I get that. But still, I don't care. I don't want to be taking our government and using it to subsidize baseball. And that's kind of what's been going on. They not only built this stadium and give them to it tax-free, rent-free, they pay the electric bill on it. It's ridiculous. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, if you like it, watch it. That's cool. I mean, I'm not for getting rid of it or anything. I just, I'm for getting our government to stop getting into deals with it. I don't want our government having anything to do with it. Anyway, the long story short is that stadium they're in, we're getting ready to put hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of new seats. because the seats are sun rotted, as if no one saw that coming, right? So the seats are all sun rotted. So now we got to do something for seats. And then the team's like, well, we just would prefer another new stadium. I'm not lying. We're still paying off the first one that we have to rip down now. It's ridiculous what these large baseball teams, multi-million dollars, sometimes as much as $1 billion league, and they need some mid-sized city down in Florida to buy them a stadium in order to entice them to come down. That's just terrible. Incredible. Hello, everybody. This is Ian Starship Adventures. We're doing a live drive from Venice, Florida, down to Fort Myers, Florida. I am checking the chat as I can, and we're just kind of checking out the. This is like the main drag here. This is the Tampa-Miami Trail, or Tamiami Trail as they call it now. Hey, look, it's Ham Shacks on the right. It's a whole place with Ham Shacks. All right, and we are now in Port Charlotte. We're coming up on Murdoch Circle. The big mall's coming up. It's not that big a mall, and it's not doing too well right now, but there's a mall up here. I'm one of these people that I really hate seeing our malls fail. I hate seeing them close down. I hate seeing all the videos of the ghost malls all around the country and watching it happen to some of our malls here. But the truth is, the retail dynamic has changed, and it's changed so much that the whole business model of the mall, in other words, paying a premium to get people to walk by in front of your shop, because that's what a mall is, let's face it. You can get a place for a third of the price right down the road in a shopping center. But if you want in the mall, it's going to cost you 2 or 3 times as much. Why? Because of the walk traffic that goes by. That's it. And the problem is, with the razor thin profit margins that we see today, it's not a winning business model anymore. It's just not. Longhorn Steakhouse. Target. Yep, that's the mall back there on the right. You couldn't really see it from here, but it's the mall here in Port Charlotte is probably at about 60% capacity, and the Edison Mall, I'm putting it at about 85%. The Naples Mall, probably about 90%, and then you've got the Sebring Mall, which is probably at about 35%, and I expect it to close by the end of the year. I figured they're just running contracts out at this point. Yeah, most of these chain steakhouses they got good steaks, but they're just very expensive. Yep, I don't believe in any contributions to sports teams at all, period. I don't believe in any government subsidies for sports teams. These sports teams make it on their own. If this team has millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars in the bank, then They build their own damn stadium. Putting it on the backs of the taxpayers down here is wrong. It has been wrong, and it will be wrong. Well, I got over here, and now this lane's the slow lane. What the hell? All right, Port Charlotte. Yep, this area is growing very fast. This county right here, Charlotte County, is the oldest county in Florida by age. Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. I went to a baseball game. It was a radio station thing I did, and it was about 5 years ago. And we went down to Miami to watch them play. I forget what team it was, but it was the Miami-based team down there, Major League. We went there to watch it. They had a box. They had a box up there for our station and everything, and we were up there, and it was kind of nice. It was a VIP box. We had food up there and drinks. They had a wet bar going on, and it was a lot of fun. But no one watched the game. I went out and sat and watched a little bit of the game, and a couple of the station guys came out and sat with me, and I looked at them. I said, "What are we doing, dude? Nobody's watching this game." I said, "Look over there. All the boxes are dark except this one and 3 others."
There's a lane closure ahead.
And of all the places in there, I only saw 2 other boxes that were occupied. And of those 2 that were occupied, they had less people in theirs than we had in ours. And in the stands, I would say maybe 8% capacity, 6 or 8%. And they grouped all the people together. And I'm like, why would they make all those people sit together in the same section when the whole stadium is empty? And well, come to find out, they do a kissing cam. And they do different things they do where they shine the spotlight or whatever into the crowd. And so they bunched up the 500 people that actually came to watch the game. They bunched them all up in the seats there to make it look like there's more people on the kisser cam. I still got to produce 2 more shows tonight. Listen to me. Wow. A statement about the brave and courageous Charlie Kirk on the back of that, written on the entire back of that truck back there. Wow. Fueled up 2 days ago, written on the gas pump. Never seen this. Written on the gas pump, an indelible marker. God bless Charlie Kirk. I was like, wow. I've never seen outpouring like this in my entire life. This could be I swear to you, the guy that did this has no idea that he's probably ended moderate liberalism as he knows it. Which is kind of an interesting thing to think about. People go in thinking they're doing one thing, and they find out they actually did very much the opposite of what they tried to achieve. And that's kind of what I really think that's what we're dealing with here. In their stupid mind, it's this idiot thought, hey, if I shoot this guy, then he won't be going from campus to campus anymore and saying things that I don't like. I got mad at the other day. on our show, some guy called up and he said, you know, the reason that I hate Charlie Kirk is because he hates gay people. So we played a bunch of clips of him defending gay people. He actually believed that gay people have the same rights we do. They should live where we live. They should do what we do. And you know, let God sort it out. That he's a true Christian. He doesn't judge. He's letting God sort it out. You know, I don't know. It makes sense to me. And then they turn around and say that, oh, I did this because he's a racist. A racist? Really? I mean, he was a moderate. He wasn't a racist. He was, I don't know. It was kind of a strange thing, to be honest with you. Oh, for God's sake, this traffic just sucks. And of course, none of the traffic lights are synchronized. Boy, I'm starting to see a lot of these Chargers on the highway. Dodge is selling the shit out of them. This is a very old town, so when you get up into this town, you have to kind of shuck and jive a little bit because it's a very old town and everybody's driving under the speed limit. I could go home and go to bed, but I wouldn't do that to my coworkers. Heath, I haven't read your email yet, but I have gotten it. I actually have 3 different emails in there I need to respond to, and yours is one of them. I got one in there also. I'm trying to think. Suffice it to say it's in there. I just haven't read it yet. I've been so damn busy, and now I'm doing this live drive tomorrow at noon. I'm taking you guys down to Fort Myers Beach. That should take 2 or 3 hours. And then Sunday I'm coming back up here to Venice again. All right, we're almost to the river here, coming up on the right. I mentioned this the other day, 3 days ago when we did a live drive. This is Sunseekers coming up. Very controversial. They made people close down their businesses, give up their homes. They did a lot of shit to get this land for this development. You can see it up there past the McDonald's there on the overhead. There it is right there. That is it. This place is absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. And they built this here 45, 50 minutes from the beach. I mean, there is no beaches around here. Other than pools, there is no swimming holes around here. So they built this whole thing, and it's already in bankruptcy. Because there's nothing to do here. I don't know why people would come here unless what you're doing is in the hotel. You know, if you're coming to a convention or whatever. I guess if you wanted a hotel to hang out in with some amenities, I guess that would be it. But Wow, it seems like would you come all the way down to Florida and stay in a really expensive place like that? That and it's 45 minutes to get to the ocean or the Gulf. That's not worth anything to you. So I think it was a stupid idea, but they did it. There you go. All right, there's your view. This is coming over the top of the Peace River Bridge here on US 41 in Punta Gorda. Over there to the right, all those roofs you see on the far right, that's Fisherman's Village. Which is a neat thing. It's kind of a bunch of things all thrown into one there. That hotel on the right was just ripped down. It was damaged severely in Ian, and they had no choice but to just rip it down and get rid of it. Why do emergency rooms have to advertise? You know, it's like, hey, we're going to take you to the closest hospital. No, don't take me there. I don't like their ER. I want to go to one that's 20 minutes further away. Because they had such good advertisement, I'm sure they're a good hospital. Last time I went to Cape Coral Hospital having chest pains, I sat out in the lobby for 3 hours. After a while, the chest pains go away and you just get in your car and drive home. When you hit the call light in a nursing home, what do you think the average time is? You think 90 minutes is fair? Yeah, I didn't think so. I don't either. Man, I have a love-hate with Disney. You see a lot of stickers on cars for Disney and stuff down here. It's I just have such a weird feeling about Disney. Remember, I grew up there. I grew up going to Disney. We would go up and do the Magic Kingdom at least once a year. We'd stay in the campground over at Fort Wilderness. And it was a lot of fun. I miss it. Back then it was just called Disney World because they only had the one park. You ever walking around a Disney park? Look around for things that are painted flat green. There's a certain color. Disney did research many years ago on what color would be the best color to paint something that you want to go away. And they invented their own paint called Go Away Green. It's literally called Go Away Green. And when you paint something Go Away Green, well, it goes away. And so anytime you have retention walls or construction areas or whatever, it's always painted this flat color of green. It's kind of a standard green. And like I said, it's different. But you don't notice it. Your brain literally overlooks it. Well, Disney, where dreams could come true if they quit screwing things up. They got a long way to go. You know, they've been missing the mark a lot lately, and that really hurts. They were such a great place to go take your family back then. It's very different today. It's been ruined by one stupid CEO after another. Keep going, it's green. I'll never understand people that slow down coming into a stale green light. It's like, dude, you need to be on that shit. And see there, I was just talking about that. The guy in front of me has a Disney state tag. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I have a hard time getting this thing to zoom into where I want it to zoom into. See, it just won't do it. Oh well. Yeah, I try. I've lived here my whole life, so it you know, I can kind of give stories. I try to tell some of the stories and then not tell those the next time I drive through, and I try to find different ones. But I'm born and raised down here. There's where a paramedic lost his life right there. That's what that little thing was there on the median. Oh, Burnt Store Meadows. Burnt Store Marina is a big area. You talk about layers of government. Oh my God. Burnt Store Marina, of course, they're not in a city. That's the one thing they got going for them. But Burnt Store Marina actually has a master association. And then each little area, each little enclave in there has another homeowners board. So everybody in there has a master board and a homeowners board that they have to answer to. You can imagine how that gets. I don't want any more layers of government over me as I can help. I lived in an HOA. It was disgusting. It was taken over by a bunch of people, a bunch of old folks. And I just don't, I don't know. I don't like the whole HOA thing, but I'm also believe in a free country, and these people move into these places on purpose. Now, most of them don't like them once they get into them, but they move there of their own free will. I can't believe the number of ham radio operators that live in an HOA. It's like you literally have a hobby that you can't live in an HOA, and you live in an HOA. You don't need to live in an HOA. I'd much rather cut my own grass than have to deal with HOAs. Yeah, he's a pass holder. That's he's a Disney World pass holder, and he's also in some Disney club, and that's a 50th anniversary Disney Florida license tag. Look at that. Down here, man, Disney's the thing down here, man. It sure is. Again, my headlights are not blinking. That's a weird phase thing that's going on. And here we sit at a poorly timed light. Nobody's going. It doesn't matter. We're just going to sit. You know, most people don't even realize that they're sitting at a traffic light that no one's going. Boy, that just drives me up a wall the moment it starts happening. Damn it. All right, let's see what else we got. I checked the news not long ago, not much going on. We watched the Jimmy Kimmel protest in Hollywood last night. There was maybe 150 people there, which is about what his viewership was, I think, when they canceled him. He was not doing well, guys. That's why everybody's already come out and said, look, he wasn't just canceled because he's an idiot. He was also canceled because his ratings suck. Because he turned it into, he changed that Tonight Show from a comedy variety hour into a political commentary show where he tried to be funny while always towing the line for the same party. Kind of crazy, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is there, other than he'll have to go find another job. Look, when your ratings go down as low as his have gone over the last few years, you're going to get canceled. It's a matter of time. And if you screw up and do something that draws negative attention onto the network, they'll choose that time to go ahead and just get rid of you. And that's exactly what happened with him. Brandon, if you lived on Fort Myers Beach and it's been prior to Ian, you're going to be very surprised what it looks like down there. Very surprised. All right, and this coming up, if you turn left here, this goes down to the Charlotte County Correctional Facility, which is a state correctional facility in Charlotte County. And then up here on the right, where that white truck is way up there, that's the turn, I believe, there to go to the dump. And they've got the big dump there. I can show you in that dump which pile is Hurricane Charlie shit and which pile is Hurricane Ian shit. They purposely let it grow up around it. Man, I'm tired. All right, let's see what else is going on today that I can talk to you guys about. There's really not a whole lot of breaking news yet, but we'll see what happens. The day is still kind of young. Today's Friday is what we call Dock Dump Day. We call it Dock Dump Day because this is the day the federal government chooses to dump all its docks. In other words, if they've got papers or they got some bad news they're going to tell you, or they got some unemployment news that doesn't look good or whatever, they've been doing this for years under both parties. It's called a dock dump. They'll wait till 4:30 p.m. on Friday and they'll put out a press release. Hey, we got to raise the rates on this, and this is going crazy, and this and that and the other thing. Have a nice weekend. And they walk out. And now all weekend, this thing is not really out there because it just got released before the books closed on Friday. Then by the time Monday rolls around, it's old news. It's a way of trying to beat some of the news cycle. Okay, here we go. This is somebody that's in the fast lane here. That should not be in the fast lane. Incredible. I don't understand why people get over in that left lane and just sit there. Just some old woman. She ain't got a clue in her head on how to drive. All right. Yep, Florida, man, this Florida climate down here between the sea salt and the air and the sun and the rain. Florida is like where they test paint. It's literally like where they send paint to be tested. We got big fields down here where they've got 25 different kinds of shingles, and they've got like little roofs where the shingles are all laid out so they can be tested. Pull out in front of me, you asshole. See, not only do they pull out in front of you, but he's on a 65 mile an hour highway, and he just pulled out in front of cars that are doing 70 miles an hour, and he doesn't even bother to try to get it up to speed. It's always amazing to me the number of people that are just discourteous to other drivers, and I don't even think they realize they're doing it, but they're completely discourteous to other drivers. Oh, hey, there's a red light right there. Another red light that doesn't even need to exist. Every one of these little parks gets a red light now. Yes, road salt is really bad on vehicles. No, I used to be a big swimmer, but not anymore. I don't care anymore about that. I mean, if I went to some party and everybody was swimming, I'd probably get in. But I don't really care. Let's see here. Yeah, winter's definitely coming early this year. I see it almost every indicator. We've already had cooler temperatures than normal down here. Way down here. Oh man.
KQ4LUJ. KQ4AAK. Well, Rusty. It's not even 3 o'clock yet. You off work already? Well, leave as early as I can, sir. Every second I'll leave early. You want to head to the gasoline repeater? Yeah, Roger. This is KQ4LUJ. Switching freaks.
Freaks.
KQ4AAK.
All right. We are in Lee County now, coming into North Fort Myers. That was not a bad drive. I managed to take about 7 or 8 minutes off of the ETA. See, that's where women and men are different. Women think that's when women look at the Google Maps and they see that, what they think to themselves is, hey, that time on there, that's the best case scenario. When men look at this and they see that time on there, that's the time to beat. That's the time you got to do better than that time. That's the worst case scenario. It just kind of, it's a little window into how men and women think very differently about things. Yep, Skynet. As I always say on the other show, Google is Skynet. Skynet is the artificial intelligence that takes over the world and tries to kill all the people in the Terminator movies.
In half a mile, slide left onto North Fork Drive, North Tamiami Trail.
What in the... Damn it. Well,
At the light, slide left onto North Fork
oh,
Drive,
look at
North
this.
Tamiami Trail.
Dump trucks in both lanes. That should be illegal right there. That should be illegal to have big commercial vehicles in both lanes. Now none of us are going to go anywhere. We're all going to just be behind all this bullshit. If we even make the light. Yeah, we may not make the light. Come on, people, just go. Big ass lumbering commercial vehicles everywhere.
Continue on North Tamiami Trail for 3 miles.
They should have to stay in the right lane. Yep. So anyway, right back there was the shell factory. Actually, right up here is the shell factory. I'm going to turn the camera to the right so you can see it. But we're going to be going by. I'm going to, oh shit, God damn it. I'm going to try to slow down here a little bit so that you can see it over there. That's it right there. It's all closed down. Completely closed down. And I'm sure they're going to rip it down and put apartments in because this is prime land for apartments. Everything down here is apartments now. That's all they're building is apartments and houses. And I'm sure because that connects up to both and Old 41, which is State Road 739, because it connects to both of those roads, and it's a nice big piece of land with a big lake on it. Yeah, I guarantee there's already some of these companies looking at that. I guarantee it. It sucks, but the truth is the building's not worth anything at this point. Between the damage from all the hurricanes, and you also have to remember it's not just hurricane damage, but it's also many, many, many years of lots of damage that happened just, just regular damage that happens with the sun and the rain over the years. You got a lot of just your standard wear. It was a very old building to begin with. It was multiple buildings all put together. And so it's kind of like just where you're at with it, unfortunately. The old man died a while back. And we kind of knew once the old man died that was it. The family tried to keep it going, but they never could really keep it going. And it ended up just not being the best situation, unfortunately. It was a piece of Americana called the Shell Factory. So down here, they deregulated the color green, and they're now allowing security guards and law enforcement support vehicles to display green lights. Now, once that started happening, everybody started getting green lights. That started to become the thing. All the construction guys were getting green lights. The wreckers are starting to run green lights. And the truth is, it's only for security officers and for law enforcement support vehicles. That's it. Nothing else should be displaying green lights. However, as you'll see here in just a second, look up here at these construction vehicles, all of them with green lights. And I'm just, I think it looks cool, but I'm not much on it. I really preferred when all the road crews were amber, or maybe amber and white, which they all switched to amber and white about 15 years ago when they deregulated the white. They started letting them put the white or the clear on there, and that was cool. But then, now it's like, well, now they've got clear and amber and green. It's kind of confusing. So depending on what state you're in, I don't know if this is happening everywhere, but it sure is happening here, where people have all started using green lights for everything. Oh, son of a bitch. Look at this mess. This is a long ass light, but it's also just turning. Hopefully we'll make it through. Normally when it's this backed up, I take a right and go around the long way, but I didn't do it today. This road construction has been going on for over a year now. It's absolutely ridiculous. Stupid. They have no deadline anymore. They just start these projects and they go on for 2 years, 3 years. They don't give a shit. They're getting paid. It's disgusting. Oh, God bless America. Come on. People just need to seriously fucking go.
Continue straight to stay on North Tamiami Trail.
And then when the light finally turns green, it's like a funeral.
Continue for 1.5 miles.
Yeah, I don't need you telling me where to go, woman. Again, as usual, it's commercial vehicles up here going slow. I think I'm going to go over here because we're going to get another lane here in just a second. So I'll go this way. This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You know, it's bad enough that they block our roads for long periods of time while they do these construction projects. But then to sit around and just take literally forever to get it done. It's like you inconvenience us every day. If you would have worked 3 shifts a day, 6 days a week, you could have had this done in 3 months. But instead, we're on month 13 right now. Doesn't make any sense to me. God damn it. This really sucks. But I always find a spot. Hey, look, Bright View Landscaping. I'll give them a plug. I don't even know these people. How's my driving? Don't call that number. Anyway. Yeah, this over to the left over here, this is one of our historic homes. Not the back. That little thing in the back is a pavilion. But over on the left there, that pavilion that's in the back there, see, it's right along the river here. Beautiful view. They got the pavilion. They got that little building over there to the left. They have weddings in there. And they do all kinds of different weddings and different events here at this place. It's just like an old, they also decorate it for Christmas, and you can pay a few dollars and walk through it for Christmas. It's one of the original houses here at Fort Myers. And it remains for now. They're working on it back there. There's the house. You can barely see it through the trees, but it's an old Florida home. And then the one across the street over there, the one that's on the left of your screen now, you're going to see that. I'm going to turn this back forward. That's an old house that got moved across the street. It used to be over there, and it got moved over here because they were going to tear it down. And they raised enough money to get Flint and Doyle to come move it. Oh, great. Community service aid. Ooh. Oh, whatever. All right, guys. I'm about to destinate here, and I will be on tonight. I'm going to be tired, reluctant, and probably not doing more than an hour or two, but I will be on tonight at 9 o'clock for the Sights and Sounds of Earth, and we'll see what's going on when I go on. I don't know where we're going to be, what we're going to be doing exactly. Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. Right, as of last night, there was nothing going on in the Atlantic. It was still very quiet, but it's very dynamic out there right now. If we get any spin at all, it's gonna try to come up. But right now, there's just not a lot going on. Yeah, sea surface temperatures are very high. That's why it's rare that sea surface temperatures can be this high, and they're a degree or two less than last year, though. maybe a degree. Not a lot, but some. I think we are going to see some hurricanes before the end of the season. We've got about 3 weeks of really good hurricane season left. But I don't know, man. It's getting pretty close to the end here, and we can go 12 or 14 days out on the models and really not see anything. So I don't know. It may end up being nothing. I have no idea. Yep, it may be nothing. Yep, these are the big condos, the big, huge buildings here on the left, and then we've got old 50-year-old buildings here on the right. This whole area here is being gentrified. It's all growing up really fast. And right up here on the right, that's my work. You can see over there to the right over the bridge. And then right here, this is the broadcast center. That building had 3 feet of water all the way around it. The bulkheads kept most of it out. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go. Everybody have a good one out there. And I will catch you on the next one, which will be tonight at 9 p.m. right here on Starship Adventures. So I hope to see you guys there. And I don't know what we're going to be talking about yet, but there'll be something to talk about. We'll see you guys then. Have a good one. 7-3s, everybody. Have a safe day. We'll talk to you tonight.